So, shameless promo. It should have been a PowerPoint Karaoke, but the thing is that I created a Flutter package to create presentations. So that's a Flutter Deck Karaoke now. And I own the stage, but that's all the promo. Just check out this package if you're planning to talk about Flutter and you want to show a fancy demo inside your slides. You can do that because that's a Flutter app after all. And today we have 4 interesting topics about Flutter. And the idea of slide karaoke, for those who don't know, is to get on stage without knowing what you are going to talk about. You'll see a prepared slide deck for you. And it will be 10 slides. And for each speaker, there will be 5 minutes of doing this presentation. And hopefully, my hope is that for this speaker will feel terrible, lost, but at the same time very excited, and it should be a lot of fun. So, what? The question was whether that will be recorded. I hope not. so, so that's the goal. And we actually have some volunteers. I see one already standing over there. So, Sally, you want to start? Because as a first speaker, you can choose one of the 4 topics and that are prepared for you. So, which one that is? Yeah, leave Flutter's Dead for Craig. No, I'm joking. You can choose. You can choose whatever. Flutter's Dead? Okay. And let's go. Flutter's Dead by the Lulu developer. Enjoy. You have 5 minutes.
All right. Is it like 4 slides, right?
It's 10 slides.
10 slides. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know, like, this is the sentence that everyone wants to see, right? Yeah, everyone wants to see that Flutter is dead. And the reason goes in multiple reasons. First, Twitter people says Flutter should be dead as soon as possible because there are better alternatives out there, like Xamarin or PhoneGap, and people are happy to use it. And as you know, everyone has a way of eating food, you know, and everyone has a way of doing a different kind of application. And if you don't know what you're going to be doing, you will end up looking like, okay, I just don't even know how to use utensils. I just don't know how to use the forks and so on. So that is why when you think that Flutter is dead, then you might end up looking like this. So yeah, like as yeah, like one night I had a nightmare, you know, like I had a nightmare that Flutter was dead, and the Edward from Twilight, I forgot his name, the new Batman, he was thinking that he was getting chased by the Kacho, so, and at the end they were both trying to catch me to tell me that Flutter is dead, and luckily, the dog was here to save me with all of these ideas that saying that, hey, Flutter is not dead, you will survive. And if you want to build apps for web, Android, Windows, and iOS, you will do it. And it will make you as happy as having happy kittens around. And it will make you an amazing developer as well. So let's talk about, is Flutter actually dead? And slowly wrap things up. We know that Flutter is not dead. And we also know that whatever we do, we cannot prove that it will be dying. It will show the opposite, almost 100%, then we don't have any evidence to show that it is dead. So, but if you want to see Flutter working, you should use more Gemini with it, apparently. And as you use more Flutter, I guess you turn into Flutterman and show that it is alive. So, long story short, we will sing this song to say that Flutter is not dead, but actually it is going to be alive. First I was afraid, no, that's not dead. So okay, so here's what we are going to do. We will sing it together, and we will sing the famous part. Staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive. Now we will do it as Flutter Alive, okay? Flutter alive, flutter alive. Flutter alive, flutter alive. Yeah. So, thank you very much for listening to this amazing conversation. I hope that you learned Flutter is not dead. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for opening this. Flutter's alive, indeed. Um, cool. So as you may notice, it doesn't make sense. The presentation is completely random. And other three topics should be similar. So who's the next getting on stage? I see a lot of hands. Yeah, sure, come. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Qais, and I would go with this. Yeah, state management.
State management, let's go. So this is next slide, previous slide.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, state management by GetX Guru. You know every guru is fake, so GetX is fake. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Picking a state management is just like GTX. When you go to steal a car, you pick the first one and you see the other one more fancy, so you jump to the next one. And you carry a gun sometimes to kill the person who is in the first car, just for fun. That's exactly what that's exactly what happened when your state is out of sync, when your widget is out of sync on your state because you just forget to make a listener on one of your widgets. That should be stateful. Yeah, so you get the same screen saying two different things, and yeah. I know. This is so hard. Okay. States like pickles, so they cook for 40 days until they are ready, and when they are ready, they may, yeah, taste good or shit. So when we pick a state management, we basically pick a risk, and it's just, hey, we picked this approach on front of others. It gave this benefits and this pros, this cons, and we usually like regret this decision after a while. Then we love our decision because we hit the cons, and we hit the cons, we regret them. We hit the pros, we love them, and we are in this vicious cycles of loving our first state management decision or hating on it forever. It's a cycle, never ending one. Okay. So I jumped with energy when I came to this pitch, and everyone maybe had attention on me, but I sucked half the way through. And now I'm just making jokes on myself. I trapped myself when I jumped here. That slide would have been better if it was 2 slides. Yeah, so that's where we jump in to pick the next package, the next state management solution. And when we just regret the last decision, I don't know. that's proven fact that simple solution could solve complicated problem if you use them correctly. Thank you. Sorry for taking your time.
Thank you. Oh, this one, yeah. Yeah, it is not easy even talking about state management, right? Cool. 2 more serious presentations. I know I promised a place for Craig, so yeah, you should come there, and you have 2 presentations to choose from, which are Flutter and Friends or is dash Swedish. Flutter and Friends? Yeah, it makes sense. Let's go. That's actually not a regex, that's just different variations of Lucas that you could find on this venue.
How dare you have a name that is not a complete grammar of a regex? It's an irregular expression, actually. So, as you know, all regular people, as they want to express themselves, walk across the street in the costume that sets their soul on fire. And these 4 lovely ladies, we can only presume they're lovely. The costume is very, it's a great disguise. I think they really set the stage for all of us. They remind each of us that kind of childlike whimsy that we had when we were young to truly express ourselves in an irregular way, just like the name at the top of this slide deck. Now, if you've ever eaten at McDonald's, you know that they can take a potato and turn it into French fries in like hours, out of the ground into your mouth in just minutes. And that's because of a very standardized process of chopping up and frying potatoes. And honestly, computer scientists took inspiration from McDonald's French fry process when the original regular expression grammar was conceived of. So just incredible. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be talking about Flutter and Friends. I've just totally gotten hooked on the regular expression thing. Anyway, potatoes are mostly from Idaho. Did you know they only came to Europe and arrived at Flutter and Friends hundreds of years later because potatoes can be chopped up into little pieces, and then you bury a piece of potato in the ground and it will grow into more potatoes, which is a really unholy thing, but it did get potatoes to Europe. I actually may have that backwards, I don't know. Okay, so psst, kids, want to buy some widgets? Yeah, Mengerdas actually last night was on the street trying to turn tricks by selling widgets to kids, and this was to raise money for our lunches today. So allegedly, he says, but we've got photographic evidence here. But you were also expressing yourself in a very authentic and irregular way in this costume. So you do have plausible deniability here. But that is a part of the funding process for Flutter and Friends. Now, this is actually a picture from karaoke night last night. And you're going to hear later today, some folks have lost their voice, and this is how that happened. So Flutter and Friends, if you hear any cracking voices, you just want to cut people some slack because they were singing last night at karaoke way too late, way too loud, a lot of like fist pumping, and Flutter and Friends is going to suffer today for it, but it's the friends we made along the way, right? Charles C. Darwin? I don't remember what his middle name is. One of the founding members of the board of Flutter and Friends. And when he went on his voyage to the Galapagos Island, he didn't just notice that the finches were similar. He also noticed that the platforms where you could render UIs were similar. And he thought to himself, gosh, there's just got to be a better way than to start over from scratch. DNA didn't start over from scratch when it made 2 different finches. They all came from the same tree. They all had a common ancestor. And he thought, I'm just sure that there could be a rendering pipeline behind all of this. And that, of course, ultimately helped form Flutter and Friends, where we now gather. So this was one of his early schematics for how evolution may have produced different finches. And he was misspelling finch there, so that's a little embarrassing. He wrote duck. But the same spirit of this went into the early Flutter kind of prototypes and architecture, and now here we are. So Swedish people have they have a first name and they have a last name. Some people call that a surname and a given name, but at Flutter and Friends, we just use the American terms of first name and last name. And what you'll find at your local Flutter and Friends badge is that you do in fact have your first name and last name printed on here, unless you failed to tell the organizers that, and then you may have had to write it yourself. I saw one person who had handwritten her name on her badge, and I personally don't blame that on her. I blame that on Flutter and Friends. So here, there's just a lot of joy in the world, and I, for one, at Flutter and Friends today, am experiencing a tremendous amount of joy. And this is a photo of 2 deer and 2 cats, definitely not made by AI. This is an actual photograph of them celebrating how just excited they were to get to Stockholm, to turn up at whatever this venue's name is, and enjoy some great talks about widgets and rendering pipelines and WASM and whatever the heck else we're going to hear about. And I think that's a very infectious energy, and I've got it right now. All right, that was 10. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. That was a weird
That was
handshake we
awkward.
just-
Was that more awkward than the slides? I don't know. Is Dash Swedish? The last topic. Joseph? Yep, let's go. So, yeah, the last topic by Volvo IKEA Baba. Next slide, previous slide. Yeah, good luck.
Hey everyone, I'm Volvo IKEA Baba. IKEA Ba? Yeah. So is Dash Swedish? That's what we probably all ask ourselves, like the first time we saw Dash. This is, actually Dash as a kid. That's like, no, actually in the womb, just before it came out. Does Dash have a gender? I don't even, a she, okay, she. Maybe I'm not the best person to talk about Dash if I don't even know the gender, but I still do it. That's actually me. I still don't have a Dash, so that's an accurate picture of myself, looking like that. Yeah. What is happening? This is this is Dash in this Dash's mom in disguise telling people that Dash is from Sweden. I still don't get this. It's like I think someone needs to explain it to me later. Well, I guess a lot of you played Ocarina of Time or any other Zelda game. This is one of the bloopers from the Ocarina of Time, actually. If you watch the end credits long enough, that was there. Has nothing to do with Dash, but it's still a fun fact. What probably no one knows is that Dash actually speaks Latin, and that's her favorite poem. Yeah. Yeah. They're really good slides. Like it's just. So. Yeah, nothing more to say to this slide, I guess. It's just like. So great that we talk about IKEA now, because Dash almost has the IKEA colors, which is another sign of her being Swedish. And she's actually vegan, but she really loves the vegan meatballs from IKEA. That's what she told me backstage. yeah, is also like Dash is really into folk music, and that's actually some like American, they call it country, but the country music originates in Sweden. So probably not everyone knows that. Here, here we see Dash in disguise, like with a fake beard in front of the, what's the Ericsson statue, right? Yeah, it's like she's kind of a bit shy in public, so that's why she often wears a fake beard. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, that was a secret topic where we get a prize. Sorry for other speakers. Thank you for being here, actually. It was fun. So I think we'll leave 7 more minutes for the next speaker who's coming on stage for a more serious talk this time. Yeah, enjoy the conference, everyone. Thank you.
Give it up for Mangiras! But before you go away from here, raise your hands if you have a Dash. Okay, Enzo, come. Oh, wait, actually, you're taking photographs. Come here, Craig, and come here. And we have, yeah.
Oh, we're gonna shoot some stuff?
And you take this one. And you take the center here. And now let's try not to kill anyone.
Always wanted to partake in this.
Okay, are you ready?
Ready?
Who are you aiming at?
I don't know.
Okay, okay.
Okay, watch your heads. Okay, I think it's not.
Yeah, you got to get it in there better.
It will work.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Wait. I managed to do this before, so you should be able to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm good.
I think you have to aim, have it a little bit like that, maybe.
All right.
Okay.
Like this.
Okay, try.
Okay, this is good.
Okay.
You can leave. 1, 2, 3.